Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today is May 14, 2021, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the U.S. markets finally bounce after a three-day rout, and we did call it yesterday that it would bounce. Good to pay attention to these daily reviews. Now looking at the major economic events of today at 3:30 South African time, core retail monthly sales coming out of the United States. Not such an important number, but if there are any surprises, you do want to know what's coming out. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, pretty much unchanged. And in the indices, the U.S. indices do bounce, both the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones. Looking at commodities, oil tanking, while gold pretty much unchanged. And looking at the stocks, JP Morgan bounces the most. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. And lastly, Bitcoin just faltering there. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So looking here at the Euro USD, really not much doing. 120.97. We're up about 20 pips from yesterday. So really nothing. I don't want to even cover it because there's not much doing. This is the case with the currencies of late. Okay, currencies, remember, have to be stable. Okay, so we don't want to see it changing so drastically on a daily basis. Okay, it did move this past year quite significantly, but nothing that we can expect to really, trade on a really ridiculous level like the U.S. markets have been trading. Okay, so we're at that bottom of that range. I do believe we'll be trading within a range, okay, between this 121.67-ish level and 120.97. But with this said, you have to wait until, the catalyst happens, until you see some momentum, okay? So just be aware that it's not trading on a daily basis, so you got to focus elsewhere. Now, looking at the other major currencies, just to report them, you could see here we're looking at the GBP. I mean, this is really unchanged, okay? So until there's a clear direction in one way or another, okay, either it breaks that upper moving average, that 30-day moving average, or it breaks the support level, okay, not much doing, okay? My guess is that it's going to probably, if I was going to pick a side, I'd probably pick it to challenge this 141.57-ish level more than it would for it to break this 140-ish level. But, okay, this is where the but. I do believe that we'll be more trading in a range, in a tight range, until that actually happens. Okay, so consolidating at this area after this massive move. Now looking at gold, not much doing here either after retracing from 1835 down to 1820. And now we're just about midsection to that, so really not much doing there. However, looking at oil, this is where it becomes very interesting, and this is why it pays to really keep an eye on the markets and to set alerts as well, because we broke this $65 a barrel, and once we broke that, and we're at 63.5, so a decent retracement there as well. Now jumping into the Dow Jones, this is where it jumped the most yesterday. If we look at that, all right, this was this week's trading from 35,000 down to 33,200-ish level, 1,800 point move, and now we're bouncing about 600 points above that. Okay, so beautiful midsection where we are right now. Okay, if we push a little bit higher, that'd be a little bit better, but this is close to a 50% push on the upper side, as is generally the case after we have such a slide. There's usually a severe move downwards, a 50% bounce, okay, and then a retracement again. So possibly we may see a retracement here. You might want to, take a look at that as this develops. Why I'm not sold on that is because if we look at JP Morgan, it's been very strong. It's only about $1 away from its highs. You look at that, it went vertical yesterday. Okay, so we're challenging this 163, something to consider. Now looking at the other stocks, if we look at Alcoa, didn't really bounce much. Okay, so it was a sector selective kind of trade yesterday. Now you see the JP Morgan was much stronger than some of the other stocks in that index. Now looking at some of the other stocks in the Nasdaq, okay, but let's just jump into the Nasdaq. Okay, the Nasdaq got beat up the most, okay, and it's not bouncing the most, which means that the tech stocks are really relatively weak. So if we do look at the individual tech stocks like Microsoft, it bounced, but not much. Okay, if we look at Amazon, it was down even. Okay, looking at Facebook, it was down for the day. Okay, so it may play rotation and may catch up today and may push us higher today, but okay, it's relatively weak compared to the general market, which is really important to note because that's usually some really great trading opportunities. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, all right, this is where it faltered. We got that reactionary move yesterday, and the markets have not rebounded yet, which seems to imply that we may continue going lower here. Okay, so something to consider as this is still making the rotation. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Thank you.